Let's talk about the 76ers first. Again, to everybody that is tuning in or watching this video afterwards, because I will make this into a video, we're going to talk about the Ben Simmons situation, because this to me has gotten progressively more interesting and more complex as time has gone on. More so that nothing really has changed other than, the main thing is that Ben Simmons will not play still. And the biggest thing that just kind of came out today, and if we can kind of bring it up on my channel here, we of course have to talk about Ben Simmons actually expressing a seek to return to the Sixers and is seeking professional help. So if you guys don't know, Ben Simmons feels that he is not mentally ready to be playing the game, and this is what Sham said from The Athletic. When Joel Embiid in the meeting, I'm told, asked Ben Simmons about why he wanted to trade. Ben Simmons responded that mentally he's just not feeling like himself right now and needs some time away. I'm told that was met with no response back, and there was other team leaders such as Tobias Harris, who then publicly and privately supported Ben Simmons and let him know that he could take time away and get mentally right. So after being kicked out of practice, being suspended for 1 game, Simmons will now miss Friday's opener against Brooklyn. It's unclear how long he will need to get his mind right, but in the meantime, I'm told Simmons will seek professional help to make sure that he's able to get back on track and get on the floor after he did express to his teammates that he wants to play, but he wants to get right mentally before he's able to do so. It is believed the 76ers will support Simmons as he goes and seeks professional help. So I want to kind of preface this with a caveat. Obviously, I think both Tyrese and I don't want to speak for him, we both agree about the mental health aspect of it, like making sure that all athletes are taking care of that. That's a very important thing in order to kind of be your best self. But Tyrese, I kind of wanted to throw it to you. I just want to preface that just to let everybody know that's our stance on mental health in general, just about like sports. Make sure that that's taken. That's number one. And then number two is obviously making sure that basketball is number two, especially if you're a professional basketball player. That's kind of priority number two. But Tyrese, I want to let you kind of run the show for this part, because I know you wanted to rant on it. And we talked about news before. With these meetings and stuff like that. What did you make of this? Not even just this news in general, but the Ben Simmons stuff that you wanted to talk about.
I just find it really childish and unprofessional by him of, pretty much saying he has a back injury and he didn't even practice. He wasn't in team like training or anything, and he's saying he has a back injury. And then now, yes, I understand mental health. I mean, is important. It's very important, but it just seems like he's bringing a lot of excuses, man. Like, it seems like every other day when, there's a game or something or he has to practice, it's always something, and it's like, to a point, it's kind of like, Daryl Morey just has to pull the trigger. I know he said, yeah, it could take 4 years, but that's ridiculous. Like, in 4 years, he'll almost be pretty much 30 years old, and he'll be on the verge of probably being out like an afterthought, right? Because nobody's not gonna want him for. He's just not professional, man. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like showing up to practice with your phone in your pocket, you're half-assing drills. It's like, it's mind-boggling just to see that as a fan, but it's not a good look for other players, I should say, because, who knows, other players might try to follow what he did, in a monkey see, monkey do type of situation. I hope that's not the case, but, it's not good for players to look at, or just for the league as a whole, I don't like that, man. Like, I just think he just should retire, to be honest. Like, if you're not trying to play, you're not talking to your front office, to your manager, to Daryl Morey, he's just shoving everybody off, and it's like, well, just go home. Like, it's like, what are you doing here? It's like, if you're not trying to play, we're not going to pay you, right? So it's like you're just bad energy in the locker room, right? So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I am in the opinion of, like, obviously the mental health stuff, like, we will really, we're really into, or, I'll speak for myself now, but, I'm really, really into it, like making sure that people are getting their mind right, making sure that they're doing what they can to make sure that they are, be able to perform the best ability, because I know that, kind of this generation right now, my generation, towards the tail end of mine to the next, like, Gen Z, You know, mental health has like been a huge issue. Like it's kind of like
Yeah,
a rising
huge.
issue for many of us. And my thing with Ben Simmons is that, you know, I've talked about this for years, more so with him this the summer and everything like that, is, you know, that wasn't the first thing that he did, right? Um and you know, when you don't say anything about mental health or anything like that, it worries me to a little bit of an extent because like you said, it's a bad look to say like, oh, you know, I struggle, you know, I want to get traded, do all this type of stuff, this antics, and then all of a sudden you're saying mental health. Which I think, like
Right.
you said, it does leave a bad precedent for people that actually are struggling with mental health. Um,
Exactly.
and, you know, we have Rui Hachimura, a player for the Wizards, currently dealing with that, with mental health issues. And, you
Kevin
know,
Love, DeMar
Kevin Love.
DeRozan. There's so many players,
Hmm.
and it's like I don't want that to be the new standard of a player saying, "Oh, he doesn't want to play for this team because of mental health." You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's not a great, I'm not saying he is trying to do that, but I'm saying like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, something's telling me he's telling the truth. Like, okay, giving the benefit of the doubt, but some telling me like he's just lying and BSing.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. Like, he could have asked for, said this a long time ago if that was the case. It just looks like BS to me. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, it just looks like
Hmm.
BS. Like, he's going to practice with his phone in his pocket. Then the next day he's saying he has a back injury. Now he's saying mental health. Then he's saying he wants to only play in LA. It just seems like he's all over the place, getting kicked out of practice, half-assing. Like, it just adds up too
Hmm.
much, man. Like, you know, um, I'm not saying I know his life or anything, but it's like, I don't know. He could have been said this, man, like years ago,
Yeah.
or last season. Like, he's barely saying this now when everything's sticky.
Yeah, and that's the problem, that, you know, it's a frustration thing, because to me it's like, like you said, I want to give this kid, well, he's same my age, but, you know, I really want to give
Hmm.
Ben Simmons like the benefit of the doubt, right? I want to like say like, you
Right.
know, look, I get it,
Same.
Ben Simmons. It's like, you know, you're dealing with this stuff. I understand. Like, I can understand the pressure of like playing in a gym with like a full like crowd of people, and, you know, if you don't perform to like the best of your ability, you're gonna get screwed. Or, you know, not screwed, but you'll get yelled at by the fans. The fans will come at you. But at
Yeah.
the same
Chandler
time,
Parsons style. Yeah.
yeah, and the problem that I see with Ben Simmons is that, like, that wasn't the first case that you came with, right? It was, you
No.
know, Philly fans, they suck, and
Hmm.
players that are on my team, like, they suck because they didn't have my back, and it's just like,
I want to
at,
only play in LA. That's like a
yeah,
slap in the face to Philly fans, man.
yeah,
Like, I only want to
and
play in LA. And then you come back and then you're half-assing with your phone in your pocket. You get kicked out of practice. It's like,
mm-hmm,
what the hell, man? Like, what's up with this guy?
yeah,
And I think it's rubbing off on a lot of other players like Joel Embiid, what's his name, Harris.
Nice, yeah,
They're trying to keep their cool and their press conferences, but it's like, they're not trying to get out of character of how they really feel. Like,
yeah,
they just want to cuss. They want to cuss his ass out. I bet. Like, just get off the damn team already. Just, we're tired of your bleep, and you know.
yeah,
But Daryl Morey, they want to get the whole world for Ben, but that's not going to happen. Like, it's just
mm-hmm,
not, and they have to come to reality too as an organization. That nobody's going to overpay for that guy because they're seeing everything he's doing now. Like, everybody's
mm-hmm,
watching.
yeah,
Nobody's saying anything, but everybody has eyeballs and everybody
yeah,
listens. So, and from a fan's perspective, nobody's not gonna buy his jersey if you ship him off to Sacramento. Like,
mm-hmm,
if he's doing the same thing 6 months later, like,
yeah,
it's not good, man. Like, this could be really career ending just by the way he's acting.
yeah. I mean,
Not even necessarily the play, because the play can be fixed, right? It can be critiqued in off-season games, or off-season
mhm.
practice. That can be critiqued, but act
I
your actions and everything, it's another.
And it just kind of goes to show kind of I just feel like it also shows the off-season preparedness that he's doing. Like, I just don't feel like he's really mentally, maybe not mentally the right word, but he's not preparing for the off-season, I feel like, in the right way, where, like, you know, I don't see, you know, obviously worked with whatever guy he did and showed off these like crazy videos against like 4'2" dudes. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it just lit a lot of people were like, well, are we really getting, you showed these videos, but like I'm not sure if this is like the Ben. I'm not sure we're gonna get like a different Ben Simmons,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
just and to me it's just it's a mentality switch for Ben Simmons. And I know a lot of people like Gilbert Arenas can come on his podcast and talk about, well, I feel like Ben Simmons can play like Giannis, like he needs to be like Giannis, needs to be that dog. But the problem is with a guy like Ben Simmons, that's just not in his nature. Um,
Exactly. You hit exactly.
and the one thing I did want to bring up was a scouting report from Jonathan Giovanni. And basically, this is what Jonathan Giovanni said. He's a ESPN NBA draft analysis guy that really deep dives into these players. And this is what he said back in 2016. Synopsis: Simmons' lacks of competitive and crucial games has raised questions about his character. Those who know him best say that he needs things to resolve around him on and off the court, and that he's often been closed-minded to coaching or instruction. And to me, like when you get that kind of synopsis from a scout, and if this is like the general consensus of a lot of scouts at this point, especially Jonathan Giovanni, who again pretty well known in the NBA community as the
He's been in
dude,
the league for a while. Yeah.
been in the league for like 20 plus years, knows a lot of players, has seen the best and has seen the worst. And
Exactly.
to me, it just, this to me screams like, okay, this is who Ben Simmons is. And I kind of figured that when I saw that he is, hasn't really changed his game the last 4 to 5 years. And I keep, I don't want to keep repeating it, but I have to say it just one more time. This is what frustrates me about Ben Simmons. It's like, look, a lot of people, I just think that we need to learn to take criticism, right? Like criticism is what's gonna, pressure builds diamonds is kind of like the cheesy catchphrase that a lot of people like to use. But even
Right.
like, I'll even use like this channel for example, right? If people have critique and things, like I talked to my boy Pete, I talked to a lot of my friends who watch the channel, and they will critique like, hey, I think you could do this better. Hey, you should look at this, and I think it's about how you perceive like the notion. It's kind of like why a lot of people hate when you edit their essays in high school. I don't know if you ever had that, Tyrese, um, in English class,
Yeah.
but it's like, that's kind of the thing, is like a lot of people just don't like the critique. They don't like to be called out because I think deep down
For
they
the
know it's true. But the thing is, like, Ben Simmons has a chance to change all that. But the problem is that I feel like being closed-minded to coaching or instruction is definitely a cause for a catalyst, I should say, to where we're at right now with Ben Simmons, where he hasn't, not saying that
yeah.
he should take full accountability for what happened in the Hawks playoff series. I think there's a lot of things that we could say about whose fault it was. But at the same time, you look at Ben Simmons, you talk about him and his game and what's been going on with him. And my frustration is that I think that he's just very close-minded in thinking that it's everyone's fault but his, and everyone's trying to blame him, when that's not the case. I think everybody shares the blame with Joel Embiid. At least I do. I share it with Joel Embiid. I share it with the organization and their culture that they've created for these two players. Also, Doc Rivers not being the coach that I think, we've never really gotten the same Doc Rivers since Boston Celtics days.
Yeah.
Um,
2000. Excuse me. 2007.
and to me, like, when I see that, it's like, I just
Yeah,
get
man.
frustrated. I get frustrated with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It really is, because it's like, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if he's the only child, but he could have that only child syndrome, like to where he's used to being the main focal point. Let me check upon that, because stuff like that, I look at stuff like that when I'm at. No, he has siblings.
It depends on like if he's the youngest, if he's the oldest. Middle
Yeah.
child. I think middle child syndrome is real. Like just being the middle child of any family. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
because I mean, you're just I think you know it's like
Yeah.
the first child's the experimental child. The last child's like, okay, we've kind of done our thing and we perfected our parenting style, which I think a lot of. And that to me, maybe that's what happened to Ben Simmons. I'm not, 96. I'm not sure how old his other siblings are. But
They look a little older. I know his sister went to Arizona State, at least from her bio, but you know, that even if he isn't, he's been the main focal point. I mean, he's made millions of dollars. He was the number one pick overall, correct? So,
Mm-hmm.
he was the focal point at LSU in college, in high school, at Monterey High School.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the guy. Like now everything's flipping on him. So
Yep.
he's not used to that. So it very well could be mental for all we know. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
he's used to being the star. He's used to being the so-called next LeBron. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not happening. And he's still a young guy. I mean, you know, um, stuff like that can you know, it can affect him.
Yeah. Eh,
So for all we know, it could be. But it just looks very strange to me how how he's showing up to his job.
mm-hmm.
He's showing up not like he's trying to contribute or play, and he's just trying
Yeah.
to BS, and that's rubbing off on dudes.
Yeah.
I know it is. Like Harris and Embiid, it's rubbing off, man. Like even you seen it with Embiid. Like I don't. He said it straight up. Like I'm tired of this man. Like some like
Yeah.
he's it's that this bridge has sunk. Like it's done. Like
No.
like whenever you have Doc saying getting the question, do you think he can be a championship type of point guard? He says I don't know about that yet. Like that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Um,
You know,
it's just so many other things. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, like, I think the situation, and I just think everybody in the party needs to hold themselves accountable. I know that when it comes to sort of, inner fighting with yourself and your fan, or like your teammates, your coaches, I just don't think everybody like really understands, like, to me, more so like taking accountability for all the stuff that led up to it. Like I think Ben Simmons, young guys, we like to just, we think we're right all the time, right? We like to think that
Yeah.
we can do no wrong. We think our
Well, we
what
haven't
stink
even
or
been in this
it
life
smells
for
good.
half our. Yeah. We only been in this life for a quarter of our lives. So,
Mm-hmm.
or he
And
has in his instance.
yeah, exactly. And to me, it's like, we need to. I think everybody just needs to be held accountable for the actions that they've all done. Again, I've talked about this numerous of times for this channel when it comes to the 76ers. I really do think that losing culture that was perpetuated by the 76ers wanting to get the number one pick each and every year, sort of like what the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing now, not to throw
Uh-huh.
shots at them, but it's like I see that, and because of the losing culture, I feel like it doesn't perpetuate or create an environment where you can build winners. Like if I know
Correct.
that I can say like, Simmons and Bede, take the night off. We're still trying to lose. We're still trying to get our guys. Like to me, it's like, yeah, then I know that I don't have the ability to be a winning culture or basketball organization, because it's like, okay, my coach always told me to lose, so I don't know how to play. And I think that the organization held on to Brett Brown for so long that it really affected how those guys play. Like Brett Brown, probably the worst coach and should not have been with that team if they really wanted to get those championship aspirations that they were on. And I know you can talk about the shot that, Toronto made, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we have to live in the reality of they made that shot, they have the NBA championship, and you're at where you're at right now. Like, yes, you can say
Facts.
that that one shot may have changed whatever you could have changed. But the fact is that he stayed in the job too long. And now every time I feel like the 76ers have kind of been like, maybe the 76ers have asked Ben Simmons to change his jump shot and to actually, work on it.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing
For all
is,
we
is
know, yeah.
that, and the thing is that like when someone tells you something like we were talking about with this this Jonathan Giovanni report, it's like those
Hmm.
people just kind of be like, well, they tell me I need to shoot, but I don't really think I need to, or I don't really need to do anything. Like I feel like I'm fine. And the problem is that they don't understand that they're trying to help you and get better. And I just feel like no one in his camp is there
They're
to
all
really.
yes men,
They're all yes men, and they don't hold Ben Simmons accountable.
and
They.
that's a problem
Mm-hmm.
because he's still very young. So whether that's 5, 6, 7 years from now, they're still going to be yes men. So where they're at now, he needs to look somewhere else to get people who aren't
Yeah.
who tells him what he needs to hear, not what he wants to hear. Because it's honestly stunting his growth, man. Like somebody's pulling a string and telling him to just pull up. I don't know if it's Rich. I don't know who it is, but they're they're giving him the wrong advice, man, because he's just making himself look bad, getting kicked out of practice, phone in his pocket, um, half-assing drills. Like somebody told him to just go, just show up, don't worry about it. Just
Mm-hmm.
we need you there. That's what it looks like to me. Somebody, I
Yeah.
don't know if it was his agent, I don't know if it was Nike, I don't know who it was, but somebody just told him, just go. We need you to go.
Yeah.
We need you to go. You know, um, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So somebody's telling him something because if he doesn't want to be there, why is he showing up? You know?
Yeah. That is 100% right. You know, it's like, you know, why are you showing up, and why, and you know, whoever's giving you advice, I hope like the next advice you give him is like, look, we need to look ourselves in the mirror. Like the thing is, like Daryl Morey is just as stubborn as Ben Simmons, and I'll let you know that right now.
Well, Daryl Morey is a numbers guy, man. Like even when he was with Houston, he ran the numbers. He makes sure the contract works and everything. He's not a real good GM like that, you know.
Yeah.
He can make the packages work. He can make the tax. He can make everything work. You know, he's a numbers guy, as I like to say. But he's not like a GM who's gonna like pull the trigger. He wants to get the best type of financial deal for the organization.
Exactly.
He's always been like that. Even when he got Westbrook and James, like the money he makes it match. That's his
Exactly.
specialty. He's not a Yusai Mujiri to get guys who can you know work together. He's never been that type of GM.
Exactly. And you're gonna see it with the way that they're probably gonna like. And I know people are thinking that it's gonna be exaggerated. Like they will literally hold on to Ben Simmons for 4 years. Like I don't think they care if they
Yeah,
have to
Daryl
pay
Morey
him,
will.
but
I,
they want to make sure that they get the best deal possible, and if that takes however long it takes for Daryl
yep,
Morey, he will make that deal, but it will be on his terms, nobody else's.
exactly. Exactly, because he wants the salaries to, he doesn't want no type of offset of the cash flow. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So he
Yep.
wants it all to match, which is going to be difficult because he's making $32 million a year, I believe, or north of that. So,
Yeah.
you're talking about a max guy on, trading off on. So,
Yeah. And no one
you
wants
know,
to pay for that, man.
no GM wants to pay for that. No owner wants to take that on their books. It's like I say, man. Like I don't know. I'm very bold on saying this, but I think he's gonna get bought out because that's the only way this ship can start going. Um,
I
that's
don't think
the
it's
only
gonna happen,
way.
man. I really don't.
The way Daryl Morey's talking, he because I just think what Daryl Morey is demanding, I think I get a sense of what he wants, but he's just not gonna get that, man. Like he's gonna have to take substantially less than what he's thinking of getting because he's dropping his own value. People are watching, GMs are watching,
Hmm.
everybody's watching, CEOs are watching of teams. You know, everybody's watching, so they're not even gonna want to like trade good role players for him. I think he's gonna get bought out. It sounds bold, but I just think that's what it's gonna come to because I can't see him suiting up in a Sixers uniform, and I can't see a team willing to take on that money. That's like Chandler
Yeah.
Parsons Part 2, 2.0, as
Yeah.
people say, 2.0. Like there's no team or organization or no GM, no owner who's gonna want to take that on with that type of behavior. So yeah, he's either gonna have to get bought out, take a vet minimum, sign with a good team, come off the bench and prove himself, or he's just gonna have to, retire and take a huge cut of, not
Hmm.
a a buyout type of number, but substantially low, and just we'll get you off our books and you can retire. But those are the only two options I see. I can't see no team taking this guy on
Yeah. I don't think.
because he just has too many red flags, man. Too many red flags. And it's not like he's barely coming into the league. He's
Hmm.
26 now. He's about to be. So,
Yep.
he's not young, man. He's young, don't get me wrong, but he's been in the league for some time now.
Yeah. He's a
You know,
he's a seasoned vet. Like once you go
yeah,
on your rookie max or like that next contract, you're a seasoned vet now, and
yeah.
you know
He's
and
battle tested. He's had all the money. He's did all the fun stuff. He's been in the
hmm
glam. He's done all this already for years. So,
yeah.
uh, um, yeah, it's I just think he's gonna get bought out, man. Like I just don't think there's no team willing to take on that money.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
however you put it, the tax breaks or whatever they call it, like it's not gonna work. He's just gonna have to get bought out, take a vet minimum, and we'll see how it goes from here. But that's my prediction.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see what happens, guys. I mean, like I said, this is going to be a very interesting situation scenario to kind of monitor as we continue to see the Ben Simmons situation continue to fervor on, and where it ends. We talked about this with Kawhi Leonard a couple years ago, and we'll see if it ends the same way or if it's going to be one of those situations where Ben Simmons is going to stay on the team for 4 years, and we're going to kind of be in this like limbo of like, will he
I think
go
he was
or
just
won't he go?
trolling. Yeah. Yeah,
But
I think he was just trolling when saying 4 years. Like I think Daryl Morey is just playing with people's,
yeah, I
just playing
mean,
with people. But he's gonna get traded if he does. I mean, but
yeah.
4 years, like that's crazy. I just can't see that because they would be paying a guy for nothing. So
Exactly.
he's gonna get bought out. I just think that's the only option, man. He's just gonna get bought out. He's probably gonna take like 60, 50 million dollars, and they're just gonna call it quits. Clean slate. He's gonna try to
Hmm.
re-sign with a team, and you know that's how I think it's gonna be. I don't
Yeah.
think there's gonna be some team take it on 30 something million dollars a year.
I don't think there's gonna be a team like that, but I also think that I'm leaning towards that he will be on that team for 4 years. Like I know, like, you may have said that it's jokingly, but
I
like
can't
it's
see it. Yeah.
the the only problem with it, like I said, is that Daryl Morey wants to be, not to be like a bro, but like he wants to be the alpha. Like he wants to make sure like the deals that he makes are like, I basically won this trade single handedly, and
Yep.
and to me, like when I see that, that's the biggest well, maybe not the biggest concern, but that's like the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that like Daryl Morey won't just be like, fine, no, we'll trade him. Like, we'll get like, trying to think of like what player that they could possibly get. You know, you,
Honestly, man, like he's good, but honestly, Dennis Schroeder, I would trade Dennis Schroeder for him and like some couple picks or something, and maybe Robert Williams or somebody. It's not gonna be players that are crazy good. Like it's just gonna be solid players, man.
hmm
Because he's a solid player himself. He's just hyped up
yeah,
because where he
he's
went,
a
he was number one pick.
yeah,
But
just a B player that can help
yeah,
you win a championship as a supporting player, but not as someone that is your number one or number two. But we can continue this conversation for many, many, many more hours to come. And I know we got Sean in the chat wanted to talk some stuff. But before we do all that stuff, Sean, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Remember, guys, if you are watching, we want to build this community, get us to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure we get to there. And also let us know about this Ben Simmons thing. Do you guys like the fact that we're in this situation? Like, do you like the fact that Daryl Morey is standing his ground? Do you not like that fact? And also let us know about the Ben Simmons and the mental health side of things, and let us know if you guys believe it, or do you guys think that it is part of the whole Ben Simmons drama that's going on. Let us know in the comment section down below.